Salve, salve São Paulo! Bom dia, meus amigos! Hoje começa o Lock-in aqui em São Paulo.
A paixão pelo Power de Lock-in nessa cidade é irada. Eu acho que todos nós brasileiros temos uma boa reputação por sermos competitivos e apaixonados especialmente em esportes. Nós trazemos o mesmo espírito dos campos para os servers.
Nós estamos super felizes de receber aqui o herói brasileiro Hit do MIBR no estúdio para falar um pouquinho sobre isso.
Fala, Tichinha, mano, beleza? Tranquilão?
Ô Hit, você deve estar muito empolgado para jogar na frente de toda essa torcida, não é não?
Pô, os fãs vão ir à loucura e eu tenho certeza que a gente não vai desapontá-los.
Então esse ano, Lock-in MIBR.
Em seguida, nós teremos um competidor do Pacífico, o mestre do disfarce em pessoa.
Vem cá!
Yes, hello, it's me, it's Benkai. Hi, thanks for having me.
I've got to ask you, any walkouts planned for this event?
We're gonna have to watch to find out.
A região da China emerge aqui no Lock-in, mirando o trono. Eu tô aqui com Ei. E aí, cara, como é que você se sente fazendo parte do VCT?
就直接我就说 FunPlus 这次是有备而来的，你们都小心一点吧。
A EMEA produziu nosso primeiro campeonato do VCT. Eles são uma região com um legado completo dentro dos esportes. E o meu próximo convidado está bem acostumado com isso. Starkso, so you came out on top in 2021. What do you want to say to your opponents, new and old?
In 2022, I didn't do as good as I expected. So in 2023, I'm really happy to get my revenge with our team.
not one, not two, but 6 previous international LAN winners on that stage right now. They might be new teams, but we cannot understate the experience and the talent we have today, Mimi.
And what's insane is that already one of these two teams will be going home. The format of this tournament is brutal, and for these two squads, neither of them has any tape on their opponent. Neither of them can really expect what they're about to face in that server.
And I mean, that's just going to be a recurring issue for pretty much all of the teams here. There's so few that have tape that you can really trust because there's been so many roster moves. But I love that. I love everything about this. The stage design, the wire frame, everybody's walking out together. It's absolutely wild. It's also great to see Artis get a really big cheer for the Brazilian fans. So clearly has been turning heads across the world with his performances, and he's going to be looking to do that again here today for NRG.
Yeah, I think a lot of the onus falls on Artis. He is the guy they're looking for. You are replacing the guy that is considered the GOAT. Stepping into Ye's shoes is not an easy task.
Yeah, it is not indeed. And of course, we already heard a little bit from FNS that NRG, they rely on the heavy prep, the preparation, and I wonder how this map veto is going to go when they have no idea what Koi could be pulling out.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. Both these teams, we have cores, they have maps they used to ban, but that wasn't really common for that old Optic core. Ascent will be gone first.
Is that taken out? And it's going to be split. Okay.
Wait, I'm surprised about that. Yeah.
Lotus is in. I don't think anyone's going to pick it, at least not for the opening match, but it would be wild if that does happen. I'm anticipating a second round ban.
Oh my goodness, NRG have picked Icebox. What is going on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not expected.
No, back in the Optic times, they were not very good at this map, so they're kind of throwing a loop into this one. However, old NRG, the SOM era NRG, actually really loved this map, and I think SOM traditionally as a player has always performed really well on it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of influence if he was able to swing them into Icebox just alone. They haven't played this since July against FPX. So the last time they did play it, they were playing against Artis, and that's when Victor was trying to play Neon on Icebox.
And it was
didn't
never
go well.
good. Yeah,
it did not go well.
Went well. And Lotus is out.
So we get Pearl.
We're going to get Pearl, yeah.
Yeah, I think that we will see a lot of teams taking the veto like Koi, where you're just getting rid of those two, I guess Split's not new, but the newly added maps into the pool with Split and Lotus. It's going to be so difficult to have a full 7-map pool heading into this tournament. The practice time just wasn't there for most of these teams.
I mean, with single elimination, you don't need a 7-map pool here, really, because you might not end up even playing that many maps here. I think it's smart they're avoiding the Lotus and Split here, but as we head into the Prime Gaming Agent Select, as you guys mentioned, Optic, they tried everything on Icebox and nothing ever worked.
I'm curious to see what they have to put together here, and also just, what is Artis going to be playing? Eyes are on Artis right now.
Yeah.
And we'll have to just wait and see.
Wolfen has gone in with a Jet. They've put Wolfen on the duelist.
That is an interesting one to me. I think with this map, you're almost always expecting Killjoy, Sova, Viper, and Sage. Those are just like the required agents. That 5th, you can kind of play whoever you want, whoever you're comfortable with. For Wolfen, that's the Jet with players like Starkso and Trex on the team. I don't think most of us saw that coming. And on the other side as well, it's actually going to be Artis playing on that Sage. Makes sense. He'll have the option to opt there on the defense if he wants. It's kind of a role you can do whatever you want on, as long as you're getting those plants down.
But yeah, I mean, we're saying, is Artis going to be playing the duelist? Is this going to be Victor? It's going to be nobody. So it's crazy to see, but there's a lot of control. There's a lot of tempo control that NRG can have with this comp.
Yeah, for NRG, their opening match in Copenhagen, when they were Optic, they lost to the core of this squad. It could happen again, and that would mean they go home.
Oh, some new stuff here, guys. I am so excited, and also very excited to bring some familiar faces back to you guys. It is, of course, Pansy and Hypox to take us through map 1.
Yeah, it feels like it has been way too long since we've seen this caliber of game. And right off the bat, Mike, I mean, this is going to be a single elim for one, and the pressure is on here. Let's go right into it, right? Let's talk the core three, right? Yeah, let's just get into it. If we look at these two teams, it's hard to not touch on NRG's core coming back into this, right?
Yeah, I think you can't really ignore that at all. Just to touch on the veto as well, I'm glad
please, go ahead.
There was some reaction to the Icebox coming through. FNS, bit of a love-hate relationship with this map, but coming in with a super safe comp as well. So curious about the application of Artis coming into this, and we can kind of delve into that a little later on if we do see a composition change as well. But this feels like a little bit of a safe start here for NRG. Maybe anticipating Koi pulling out some sort of, wizardry to get things started in this series.
And I think coming into this tournament, there's two ways to go about it. You play safe, you play to your strengths, you have the core three there, you play a safe composition, you run the maps you know, which I think NRG is the best bet to go for, or you go for curveballs, you go for surprises, you play cheese.
I mean, on the flip side of that, we've got Wolfen coming in on the Jet.
Wow.
And again, with this
Talk about
composition,
untested,
there's
Mike.
not really a massive support system in place for him. So this is, I mean, you're thrown in at the deep end against a team like NRG.
Huge.
And you've got to step up here to be the Jet here.
Ah.
Well, we're starting 2023 off right.
You know what? I missed you guys too. You put that up for us. Appreciate it. Let's get it right, though. We don't want any issues when it's single limb, right?
Dude.
You don't want anything going wrong. So let's then kind of flip the scope, right? We kind of started with NRG, which I think is a fair assessment when we look at that roster. Some of them, of course, walking away in that podium position not too long ago, right?
Hey, I mean, most people are going to look at this on paper as, this is NRG's game to win, right?
I think it's theirs to lose.
I literally was about to get to there, really. Koi have the potential to cause a real upset here.
But proactive beginnings. I love this mid-walk coming out. The knife did connect as well, so a little bit of information, but do they expect an actual bit of presence off the back? They will be warded away for now, so they are going to have to somewhat reset here.
Yeah, interesting that they follow through on that. Obviously, Shados's position key in terms of shutting that down, but already a heavy lean towards B here for NRG.
Full faith in the singular player of FNS to kind of lock down that A site. Feels no pressure yet, so he's just fine. And they're going looking. Crash, he's getting curious, and the swing on the corner. Perfect. Wolfen wants one, trade down, back and forth. Trex stands for two, but quickly goes down. And it looks like NRG want to send a message early.
And the timing on that was perfect. The flash comes through just as the orb drops from Som. See, Victor got to be careful here. The wide swing. Coldamentor isolates the first, but Som good for the trade.
Shaydos, come
will
on.
find a response. It's a Killjoy 1v1 here.
It's your dream come true, Mike. Old Tommy the Turmeric going to be coming up now. Spike is safe to get back in hand. That's fine. 35 seconds. Going to secure the flank, make sure nothing's there. He has no idea where FNS is for now. So he's going to try and play it smart and play it safe, but a fight is inevitable. And the angle for FNS...
How deep does he clear on site here, though?
That's the question, isn't it? A quick glance, and the shot's good! Shaydos! A slap back to NRG. And a reminder that as much as, yes, the core of NRG has got champions, so does Koi.
Yeah. A fantastic round from NRG. Obviously, the early exploration towards mid. They don't overstep the mark there, but it's the timing for me. That poison orb up, just draining time, forcing Koi to sit there, really. And it'll be a massive overextension to force their way past that. But immediately, as soon as that poison orb cooldown is coming in, there's three people to come through. Swing on the back of that flash. Perfectly executed, but unfortunately, Koi good for the trades.
Yeah, Trex was a bit of a superstar in that as well, kind of keeping them relevant in that fight that was happening on that 4-play stack towards B. So right back into the round, we're looking at the purchase coming out from NRG. It's very limited, so again, looking at the silver linings, we're looking at orbs, we're looking at any kills, anything they can build up into this. It won't be too much to write home about. And the stack slowly working its way back around towards this B site. So again, for Koi, keeping them cool. A player like Wolfen needs to get comfortable on the stage. We haven't seen much from him in the past to this caliber. This is going to be a very big game to start on, but he's surrounded by some very experienced players.
A couple of Cobra frags here. That'll definitely be the start he'll be looking for, but Koi
nice.
once again looking to plant the seeds of emphasis towards the B site. Obviously with Sages on both sides of this map here. Nothing spotted out with the Aldo here. I'm not sure actually if top site was spotted there. It was Crashies up there. The wall's going to go up. We're going to try and get a bit of a deeper plant here, but it's dealt with immediately.
Yeah, very quickly now. Trex again, still going to be good for it, finding Crashies. Second bite of the cherry for the plant. That's going to go down uncontested. So safe plant here, and now into the post plant. A little bit of chip damage on Victor, but let's see if any damage could be found. There's no flank coming into play. Still going to have the turret keeping watch onto that, so no worries there. They just need to try and keep this one as safe as they can. Have the rifles. This shouldn't be a problem here, Mike.
No, definitely not. Should be a comfortable cleanup as well. Shaydos to find 3. Trex will find the final kill for the Prime Gaming Flawless here in round 2. And coming to this round, whether or not Koi will try and throw something, a little bit of a pace change here. Try and enable Wolfen early on in this half, but the things I'm looking forward to really is how they're going to test this Killjoy setup on the side of NRG. Even though FNS is going to show a little bit of variety here.
I'm considering the conditioning now, right? We've only seen these B hits coming through.
Exactly,
They've been relatively all in. There hasn't been that presence here. They did knife and they did walk mid, but they didn't explore beyond that.
First buy round's too early to force the adjustment from
Absolutely.
NRG just yet. So.
Absolutely. That will be in the back of their mind, though, I'm certain. And let's see what Wolfen can get up to here. Proactive beginnings and a quick
Turret
start.
dealt with immediately. That's literally big tick in the box for me at the start of this round. Flash does actually catch Ardis, but look how aggressive this is. Looking to flash all the way into spawn here outside B. On the back of that information, Ardis will throw the wall up.
Yeah, talk about trying to bring Ardis into play. That is something I want to keep my eye on, is how well do they make this man work. As I said, still sticking around here, not going to back away from this. He does have Victor not far behind. He's actually got the rotate coming through from Crashies as well. These two are rabid in approach. They
Chomping
desperately...
at the bit. There's 3 people here for
They're
NRG.
willing to brawl. This is ridiculous, considering 0-2 down in this. Not a terrible start, but, you know, still willing to battle this out. And they did great chip damage on towards Cold Dementa, so that could be something to note in the future. But again, you still have Sage there, so should be brought back up nice and quick. But Artist gets punished by Wolf and exploring on his own. No utility to send to motion, but it's Victor to quickly quell that. Falling away towards the site, but Koi want in.
Unfortunately, 26 HP on Victor, nearly caught off guard there. NRG have to try and find a response to this. Actually, the wall comes up. Nobody's swinging on the back of it, but actually, the lockdown invested here will clear some space, but Snowman's still playable here for NRG. Should at least guarantee the plant, though.
Oh, Stuffzo's in trouble. Needs to be really careful about this. They're taking a fair amount of chip damage for themselves, but should have enough time off the back of the KJ ult to at least get the plant down. But how safe are they on the fallback? Actually made it safely into post-plant too.
All
Yeah,
four
very surprising.
No snake bites available, and I don't think actually any nano swarms on this, so it's going to be a dry post-plant here for
Around
Koi.
the world. Keep your eyes on who is it. Starkso going walkabouts. He's going late flank through middle. Hasn't been noted.
Victor just gave it up. He spotted him.
Victor is in so much danger. Now there's a problem though because they've got their mind split in 2 places and Trek starts farming. 3 huge kills and NRG left in tatters. Victor's eyes turn towards middle and it's all but a ruse. It's all but a distraction. The time is just singing him the way out of this round. Cold Dementa to close and Koi off to the perfect start, 3-0.
Big conversion here for Koi in round 3. And again, this is on the back of NRG looking to really flex out on B main.
Get
Like
aggressive.
hyper-aggressive against 3 Spectres. Again, Koi weren't even really happy to entertain it at first, but they waited out that wave of utility as Wolfen to actually find the opener onto Ardis. Beautiful round from Koi. And this is the thing with Cold Dementa. He's not afraid to let that clock burn, let it go all the way down, force so much utility out. We saw that time and time again from him last year.
And how many times have I talked about Cold Dementa as a kingmaker, right? He knows how to make his players work for him. We're seeing it with Trex early on. Wolfen want to see how he warms into this, and we're finally seeing a little bit of a look towards the A site here. So again, the purchase from NRG is poor, so it's not going to be one of those rounds that we're going to be writing home about if all goes to plan, but it's the first time Koi's starting to explore the map this time.
The scope in the hands of Som, who left to anchor towards Snowman, but 3 pistols to deal with here. Well, actually, Shadows just staring off Victor here, and actually, Victor looking to get aggressive, nearly catching one.
Yeah, but the pressure's coming now. Shados cracks open towards Crashies too. Potential of a flank, but not going to be explored. And they're on towards the site, already clearing towards 410. Darkso towards Ardis. It's clean so far. Nice. No trades coming back in. You can see FS trying to find that space. Denied quickly. Koi, super diligent. Super clean, super diligent, and a Prime Gaming flawless here, Mike.
A second. And we're in round 5, or coming into round 5 now.
Now, it's early days still. When do they hit the button for a timeout for me if you are NRG? Because you don't want this to spiral. You've got another bite here with a full purchase. Maybe run this one, but surely that consideration will be here soon.
It's definitely after this buy round for me.
Yeah.
But if we do see any sort of adaptation come through. But Koi definitely in the driving seat in terms of the pacing here, in terms of the control.
Absolutely.
NRG just about coming up towards this first ult cycle. I mean, 2 is the most kills here on the board for NRG. Again, early dealing with the turret once again, creating a gap, forcing this rotation out. I think Koi are going to very quickly drift towards A here.
And last time around they did this, they did eventually kind of explore that B side, that late lurk through middle. They kind of...
I think this is what previously prompted that aggression towards B main for NRG. So we get a different look from NRG this time, but also a different response from Koi.
And look at Wolfen, I think you're absolutely on the money with that consideration. He's already sat back there making sure that doesn't happen. So they are trying to find information here, but again, a new look from Koi, going to go towards the A site. So a little bit of a switch up, but no pace behind this. Maybe waiting to see if that flex does come through.
We'll see, Crashes should have his recon back online now, and he's actually just sent it out immediately. Now, if that pings nothing, which actually looks like everybody from Koi has avoided that.
Do they rotate? Do they sit deeper? I'm looking at FNS trying to find a bit of information as well. I think this is going to be quite telling. Nothing still.
Should hit these steps though.
It's huge. What a swing from Wolfen as well. You felt as though Ardis was good for that crash. She's still standing. Don't know how. The absolute flood of utility on the side is going to put him right under pressure. The flank is on though. Koi not feeling comfortable just yet. They want another pick, but you can see them halting for a second, pausing for composure. See if there's any oversteps, and no one is so far.
They've got bodies on the line here to try and defend. That's the Aldrone. Late investment here.
How is Crashies
Utility
alive?
to clear Crashies.
10 seconds, they've got to make a move towards the site, and Sova Vector saving NRG in this. Whew.
Yeah, a little frantic there on the defense and on the attack as well, but I think just an inability to follow up on that first kill to Ardis. Crashies just tucked in for so long. I think initially a slow orb sent his way, but after that, a snake bite to follow up, it seemed a little hesitant on the side of Koi when they actually had the upper hand there. As soon as Ardis falls, he's invested the wall. Just follow through on that.
Yeah, credit to Crashies for playing his life so well, but you're absolutely right. There wasn't as much kind of pressure right towards him. Yes, I guess the flank did come in roughly around that time, so a little bit of a stress across the board. But 4-1, we finally have NRG fighting back into this. Let's see what the new look coming out from the attacking side of Koi is going to be this time.
And Crashies and Victor. Ultimates online. Sol and Ardis just one away from the Res and the Viper's Pit. Blade Storm available here for Wolfen. Actually, Stars are going to get his Res online as well. Spread pretty thin once again for Koi in the early round. No exploration from NRG either. Crashies looking a little bored there. Hands off the keyboard. Just jump spotting Boiler right now. In the second leg, really, we've seen Wolfen deal with that turret early on a couple of times, but there hasn't been a single round when this alarm bot's been pressured yet. That's one of the things that's going to be the key part of this Killjoy setup. Once again, Ardis and Crashies potentially going to be tested here on A site. Victor drifting this way as well.
Such close contact as well. That's the first bit of utility fully invested, and they're already on the site, essentially. Really sitting deep now, NRG. Didn't want to take that risk after Ardis lost his head in just that prior round, but still, one going to come through, and Trex on guard duty. Takes down Victor. Crashies with a whole lot of info, but not a lot of ability to really do much about the pressure coming on off the back of it. So again, spamming in. Ardis takes a little bit of damage himself. And they're looking for that first step in on this retake, and it may be off the back of this Hunter's Fury coming through, and absolutely maybe now. Trex goes down, but not before he actually managed to convert onto Victor. The timing, no. FNS! He's made a bit of a meal of it. This could be deadly now. Problems are plenty, Mike.
Does find it though. Cold Elemental will fall here. FNS, can he find anything else? No. Starzo deals with it. Trex finds a follow-up. Wall's still available for Ardis, but man, there's just not enough left to fight the numbers of Koi on the site here. Again, seemed like almost a dry run of the previous round, but a much deeper setup here with Crashies basically playing off that Hunter's Fury. Victor gets here just as he pops the null command. The wall's already up. Starzo's already got that wall against screens, so there's no threat to sight. A little strange to watch that. Again, this is no pressure elsewhere on the map. This time the turret wasn't dealt with in Kitchen. There wasn't really any indicators of presence anywhere else for NRG. Felt a little scrambled on the way back in there.
And I'm happy to see a timeout called now, because I think we want to bring into context that there's only so many times we can say this. Single Limb, of course, but this is also NRG's map choice. So if you're looking at it this way, I was really looking at kind of Koi coming in, looking really well drilled, looking like got a really good game plan into this. Maybe not completely anti-stratting, because you simply can't do that these days, at least yet. But again, nice game plan on approach. NRG are yet to really find that answer, to really find the information early on, or pressure anything as to what's going on.
Yeah, it's the point where we come back to that, and again, kind of weak way to look at it, but it's at face value, right? This core for NRG, and again, whether we're going to make another argument about the comp or what, whether or not, I don't know, for me, the support system here, you can put Ardis on anything really and it'll deliver. Yes. But for me, it needs to be Victor and Crashies to step up in some of these rounds, and early on we saw them kind of posturing up, looking hyper aggressive in that anti-eco actually. Yes. When there's 3 Spectres on the board, happy to brawl on B main, but outside that, whether or not it's just how delicate the economy's been. They haven't felt comfortable to do that. Koi aren't really making any secrets about what's going on in the early round, right? It's a couple of times now Wolfen's dashed up onto top tube, dealt with the turret, immediately peeled back to a default and just kind of slowly drift towards A. If that continues, I want to see NRG take the initiative, but it's difficult when you don't have the weapons to back that up.
Yeah, it's just, buy a round.
And without a duelist as well.
Exactly.
A duelist is the one that really they should be looking to enable in those sort of rounds.
And as much as, yes, you can prop up certain players to play like it, the agent not there, going to be difficult. Trying to play bodyguard here for Victor. Does, I think, yeah, he did indeed get the orb, so that's fine. FNS could be next on the chopping block, and he is quick with it. Really clean work. think this is a lot of credit going to Koldamenta in my mind. Again, you've got a lot of untested talent, some talent who've been off almost for a year. You've got a lot of different factors to work into effect here, but he's doing incredibly well with his roster so far. Crashes and some, again, looking for maybe some sort of chip damage, some sort of exits here, any sort of damage they can achieve, that'll do. Going to take down one, but anything more starts to get almost impossible.
The opening to some of these anti-eco rounds from Koi have just been absolute perfection. There's been no real risk. Always stacked up in numbers, and Wolfen's been good for it so far, honestly.
Yeah, solid.
They're building up a bit of a bankroll now as well. I think that's going to be even worse with 4 surviving here for Koi. They're sat very comfortably. And you look at NRG, it's odds and ends left behind this. Viper Spit, Rez, lockdown to play with here, but again, I'm just not seeing the numbers on the side of NRG to really feel confident about the home stretch of this half.
No, and it could turn on this round. This is what it kind of is a pivot point in the game for me, or at least in this half. It does seem as though we're going to see a similar start as well. Eyes towards what Wolfen does here. Does he get checked on this? Does he not? Similar scenes. No turret this time. So again, this could be relatively telling as well that there is an adjustment, but Wolfen big pick. Victor goes down, he gets a back away, and there's no trade, there is no threat.
I love the reaction here. It's such a big indicator that the turret's not there. There's some kind of adjustment on the side of NRG.
What's been
exactly what's happening differently here. Beautiful opener from Wolfen once again.
That's really nice to see. Again, young player, good decision making coming in here. First on the big stages like this. That's lovely. Doesn't have to get too flashy with it, can just do his role. And we've got that slow lean actually towards B, but we do still see Viper Spit in play.
Still got a drone, still got the recon to deal with. Some should they force in.
Res up. There's Shados on guard duty, tries quickly handling business, and Artis even gets tagged in this. So they've lost even more. Yes, Koldamenta goes down, but still, it's just FNS, Som, and Artis to try and quickly get back towards the A site. All drawn towards B, all drawn towards mid, and a quick read and a correct decision from Koi to instantly go towards A.
Yeah,
beautiful, beautiful decision making.
A very safe plant as well with no pressure coming back through on site. FNS actually going to invest the lockdown here with the Hunter's Fury being burnt up from Trex. We'll see really what it buys. Again, when they're not behind screens, it only really gives them access towards the orb. You can see where it cuts off here. And it's a safe plant.
Okay, what's the plan here? Oh, this could be nice. Gives him a bit of cover. That's the only issue, though. Has to back away 18 HP, and he's lost all the bodies in the meantime. All alone, barely breathing. Artis would have to work miracles, and there are no miracles here for NRG. Koi is 7-1 up. Let's pump the brakes here, Mike. Let's take a step back, right? As this tournament is going to be one of those that could be completely out of expectation. Very hard to consider who does deep runs, who's going where. But we have to give credit at 7-1 that Koi have come in looking dangerous, Mike.
Absolutely, and NRG making a few decisions that just feel a little flustered. I mean, the res there, even if the Hunter's Fury wasn't a factor, right? This res is towards the bottom end of Tube, with no wall invested towards mid. I didn't actually see on the minimap if anybody had probed it anywhere else to kind of ensure that, but it's immediately punished. I mean, Artis gets tagged as well, obviously got the heal behind that, but like I said, it's not often last year we'd ever talk about NRG, well, previously FNS, making these kind of desperation calls.
No, but I think this also then spins back, considering we are seeing a bit of a force-up. Actually, so I'm going to connect one, so that's actually quite important. First time we're seeing Wolfen found without any trade or anything back. Maybe could do a bit more with this, but I think this arcs back to this is potentially NRG's game to lose to an extent. A lot more pressure, a lot more eyes on them. Koi, I think if you're part of the EMEA scene, you watch these teams, you'll be very aware of who some of these players are, but
the tag actually comes through.
Not bad, he's putting in work, he's trying. But again, this is huge pressure on NRG, and Koi gets to come in and even determine the pace on the attacking side is very valuable in this.
Yeah, big progress towards A here as well. Victor digging pretty deep here with Wolfen falling. Again, no progress through mid, actually. Crashy's going to opt to rotate towards orange here.
How much longer can he
actually,
last?
as I say that, yeah, Victor actually caught with the stinger out in the open.
So much put towards just clearing him out of this. Actually, FNS! Great little available angle. The all has come into play, and again, just putting bodies on the line here. Koi has once again won out the fight. Yes, it's sloppy, but it now probably 8-1. It's not the end of the world unless Victor can work out some sort of magic here.
Well, he did get tagged up and noted by Trex as well, so down to 67 HP. Flashes to work with. The alarm bot will reveal his position. Gonna need a miracle to get this one done. Still a drone to buy time as well.
Shados working with it too. Beautiful. Two still alive. Trex, Shados move forward. Money's not an issue. Rounds aren't an issue. Koi are comfortable on the stage.
Yeah. I mean, cool round 10, the nail in the coffin, honestly. With this bankroll that's built up here, Koi systematically working through these ultimates as well. NRG, couple away, crashes two off the Hunter's Crew once again. Victor, one off the null command.
Yeah, got to say as well, for me, Trex and Shados, outstanding performance so far. Yes,
Shados is 12-1.
Yeah,
What?
Shados is having a game. And he had a good beginning, call it what you want, when they had the economy in their favor, but even into the buy round, it's been super influential. Early attempt, a little bit of a catch there towards the orb, but again, just going to keep map control for now. But a massive rotation. You've got 4 players on A here.
I feel a little bit like it's time for NRG to try and take a fight here. That might be why we see the numbers committed towards A. Ardis actually with an op in hand.
Could be big. You need something to make the difference.
Throw a spanner in the works. We know what he's capable with this weapon.
There's not many like him. The man he replaced is one of the only other few that you could argue. But again, 3 to 9 quiet performance here so far, but not really an individual error, I feel. It's just a game as it is. 50 seconds now. Running down the clock quite low. And they're going to be walking into a substantially larger amount of presence. First time we're going to see the 4 players really posted up on this 2. Ardis first contact. Wins that fight wall. Gets committed, doesn't get on it himself though, so has to peel away from this. And actually an early read from NRG that this is going to be a rotation.
30 seconds.
I mean, 30 seconds left here. I don't think they're going to beat NRG to this site. Obviously, some tucked all the way into Snowman.
I love Victor backfilling this super quick as well.
Yeah, immediately.
Safety, making sure it's not going to be a double pump, a double fake. No, it's going to be now red alert to Som. Do what you can, buy us time, buy any seconds you can. Plant's going to come in, does it get stuck here? 10 seconds now, it's down, it's safe. Into the post plant, crashes, handles Starzo. Now down to 3 players. What more can these 3 do? I think I heard the Vipers pick committed.
Yeah, Coldamentus popped it.
He's popped in, rightly so, but Victor on the flank. This was happening a long time ago. Ardis still popping off shots, finds Shados. Down to Coldamentor and Trex here. Close on the side, and Crash is trying to reveal him. Crash is going to get Trex. And now just Coldamentor, and he's dealt with. Finally, NRG stemmed the bleeding. But is it too little and is it too late?
I said for this to go in Koi's favor would have been the nail in the coffin for me. Again, it will be nothing short of a miracle. They can close this out with the best possible result. It's a Prime Gaming flawless for NRG to get back on it. Definitely didn't.
So scrappy. Wow. And a timeout now for Koi. So maybe
let that one breathe a little bit.
Just let it settle. They're not under any pressure right now still.
Not really any bad decision making on the side of Koi here. This just felt a little more of a, I guess, a preemptive rotation coming through, and NRG happy to kind of commit to some of the information they do receive. Obviously with the Owl Drone coming through, the knife actually following through, I think pinging 2 from Victor, the Owl Drone being there, they know it's 3 or 4 behind there. And I think that's the point at which they say, yeah, let's commit to this. This is posted up. Yeah. He wins those all days long. Like, if there's no flash to come over to actually get Wolfen in a position to swing that's when you know. Ardis is always good for that one.
Yeah, he's not going to miss that absolute city. So good to see him finding that, and then the knock-on effect of it. Again, good stuff. I've got to say, the crowd here pretty lively already. It's a pretty small start to it. It's first game ever coming out here. Crowd's lively. Kind of liking it. Kind of liking it. But all said and done, Koi now with a chance to maybe hit that adjustment. Now noting that Ardis will probably have the operator still in play. That's going to be a factor. How do we approach this? How can we maybe facilitate Wolfen a little better in this scenario? Or do we look somewhere else?
So again, they're being on the Sage. How kind of mobile is he going to be around the map? Seeing immediately him make his way towards B. If he's going to become the B site anchor with this operator, it'll be a big switch up for NRG, enabling them to find something elsewhere on the map. You see Som making his way over. First time we've actually seen mid-intention here from Koi. At least with a couple of bodies, it's usually Wolfen to just find that turret. Slow creep behind the orb.
Yeah, they have not done this walk before at all. So the fight will be towards FNS, if anything. 3 players there, and this hasn't happened yet. This timing can be really uncomfortable. Now we'll get the early warning signal, but beyond that, it's really on him here.
He can spam the wall off this alarm bar as well, actually. You can see the nano swarm on the other side of it.
They've got to be asking questions. They've got to be. That timing's starting to get curious here. FNS still steal focus. He's going to hit the steps here, and now he's going to see the players. Falls away from this and probably rightly considered. Quick trade does take down Wolfen, but the site's now under scrutiny. We do note that, again, it was Artis who hit that early rotate towards the on that B side, but the fight in middle's won out by Starzo. And Crashes on the quick flank is going to miss the vast majority. There's still one player even behind this, Trex, waiting ever so patiently for his time. The plant comes in, the timing's atrocious. Trex gets it on a platter, spotting out one in the second, looking likely. Trex, sharp as ever. And now it's just Artis, completely navigated around, didn't even get a chance into this round. I love that. How do we get around the up? What, we just play it up the guts, up middle.
I'd love to accredit this towards the awareness of being, it's going to be on an extremity, right? Yeah. The weakness is going to be in mid. And what's FNS got to deal with is 3 bodies barreling into kitchen. Because they're even here with the setup. They're stacked up as 3, ready to explode close on the back of that alarm bot contact. We'll find a consolation, but only really revealing himself here. Prone to losing this now. Trex on the first swing. And Shados picking up the slack elsewhere as well, might even catch him.
Gave it a good fight. Operator gone now. And the round back for Koi. Fantastic call from, I imagine, Coldament there. I feel like that's the first time we saw them up the guts.
Timeout.
They knew
Straight
what they
out
were
of
doing.
timeout.
And it's not a bad call from NRG. By all accounts, you're only trying to play off of what you know and make that, maybe that next step reading, you know, trying to place him into middle somewhere. But again, it's Sage, not hypermobile, not able to really get out of those scenarios. So again, you don't have that capability. So 2-9. Money, it's missing bits and pieces here. You can see Victor without armor, you can see odds and ends lacking, but Artis does still have the operator. So this time around, what's the plan here? They desperately need this third.
They really do. I don't feel comfortable about this second half at all. 3 towards B main initially here for Koi. Coldamented to be the 4th. Shados is going to be on crowd control elsewhere. Victor looks a little curious. Towards Nest at least on A site. A pause for thought here for Koi. Hunter's Fury available. Rez available. The other side of things, FNS does have that lockdown and preemptively invested here with over a minute left on the clock. Just to force them back into spawn here, as, like I said, it feels just a little desperate. Don't really secure the space on the back of that. Yeah, I'm really not sure about that one.
No, I was kind of imagining if someone backfill it a little
exactly,
further.
Yeah, take the space, force them even deeper. There's a pinch coming through from Victor, potentially with this aggression on A.
And here's the burst again. Wolfen instantly going to fight towards Som. Som great dealing with the first though. Front line dealt with. Now you got to look towards who else is remaining. We know that Koi are running as a pack in this. There's 3 players who are the heavy hitters and they're mostly still standing. Som though yet to be cleared fully from this. Rez comes in. Do they get a partner? Huge from Som! Holding it down and giving NRG the finest amount of hope, the thinnest amount to work with, as 3 rounds is really the bare minimum.
It's a fine margin, yeah, the bare minimum. Quietly on the other side of things, Trex has just had an insane half of Valorant here.
Yes, he
on
has.
Icebox for Koi, just such a consistent player. I saw him hint at this. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? They line up for him. You can see a little bit of joy to close out the half for NRG. The consolation that. At least definitely needed that one.
Yeah, might bring him back a little here, give him a little bit of that fire burning in the belly, because they definitely need a wake-up is 3-9.
Chet's cracked a smile.
First time in a while. time in a while. But yeah, this has to be a rude awakening for NRG. It's do or die. Bear in mind, this is still their map choice. They've got 3 rounds. Let's hand it back to them. The desk.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypok. If you're an EM fan, you're having a great time. And we heard in the interview before the match started, Shadol said they had 1 month to prepare for this. And Mimi, this looks great for 1 month.
It looked really well put together by Koi, and I was particularly impressed with just the half that Koi Dementa was calling there. And one piece of that was kind of a piece of tech that I don't think I've really seen before on this map, and that was Wolfen's Jet consistently taking that control in mid. and breaking the turret. We have a clip to take a look at of one of those rounds here, where as you can see, right off of the rip, well, we don't have it quite in here, but at the beginning, trust me guys, that turret was broken down by Wolfen updrafting on top of that tube. And in the late round, that meant that Finesse had to consistently be that guy, and here it is right now, who was locking things down, playing in mid. Normally when you play that Killjoy, you can kind of set and forget. Set up that utility, stay in range, and you have that information. But Koi consistently denied that, meaning that for the side of NRG, they had to kind of constantly change how they were playing their defense.
I mean, what can he do there? Pop off, find 3 kills? That's the only solution to that.
Yeah, it's I don't know if there was maybe not a misread, but maybe a gamble towards it, maybe. Testing things out, I don't know. But again, it's put them in a position where they are back down to the pistols here. So this will build, again, an opportunity for NRG to close the gap. And they're still stuck on 9 for Koi. NRG just building that confidence as well, trying to feel out the game, warm into this a little bit.